The vet had seen countless animals in his life, but never this. A German shepherd refused to let go of a tiny, crying kitten, wrapping his paws around her protectively. No one understood why, until the vet discovered the truth. What he found brought him to tears instantly. It began as something small, almost easy to dismiss. A German shepherd named Max had started clinging to a tiny kitten the family recently rescued. At first, they thought it was adorable, this big dog wrapping his paws around the fragile ball of fur. But soon, they realized it wasn't just affection, and no matter where the kitten went, Max followed. He refused to eat until she was beside him. If anyone tried to lift her away, he whined and pawed desperately, pulling her back into his embrace. His eyes seemed to plead with them. Don't take her away. The family grew puzzled. The kitten was fed, warm, and safe, yet her constant cries only stopped when Max held her close. Something about his protectiveness felt urgent, like he knew. A secret no one else could see. Concerned, they decided to take both animals to the vet. The family soon realized the kitten's cries weren't ordinary. Day and night, her tiny voice echoed through the house, sharp, heartbreaking sounds that pierced the silence. They tried everything: soft blankets, warm milk, gentle rocking in their arms. But nothing worked. The moment she was set down, the crying began again, except when Max was near. The instant the shepherd wrapped his large paws around her, the crying eased. Pressed against his chest, the kitten finally quieted, her breathing slowing as if she felt safe. The bond was undeniable. Still, it didn't make sense. Why did she only calm in Max's embrace? Why did the dog insist on keeping her close, even through the night? The more they watched, the clearer it became. This wasn't just comfort. Max was protecting her from something unseen, and they needed answers fast. The next morning, the family rushed Max and the kitten to the veterinary clinic. The waiting room was filled with curious glances, people whispering about the sight of a big German shepherd carrying a tiny kitten pressed tightly against his chest. Max refused to let go, even when the nurse reached out. "Easy, boy," the vet said softly, kneeling to meet Max's eyes. But the shepherd growled low, his body trembling as he shielded the kitten from unfamiliar hands. It wasn't aggression, it was desperation. He was terrified they'd take her away. The vet had seen loyal dogs before, but nothing like this. "All right," he said gently, "we'll do this your way." They allowed Max to stay close during the examination. The kitten mewed pitifully, her small body shaking, but Max's nose pressed against her fur seemed to calm her instantly. The vet's expression turned thoughtful. "There's something here," he murmured, already reaching for his instruments. The room grew tense. Whatever he was about to discover could change everything. The vet gently lifted the kitten, examining her tiny frame with practiced hands. Max pressed close, his nose never leaving her fur, whining softly with each movement. It was clear, he wouldn't allow her out of sight, not even for a second. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Her fur was soft, her heartbeat steady, her weight just a little under normal. But then the vet paused. He tilted the kitten carefully, listening closer to her chest. His brow furrowed. "Wait a second," he whispered. Max let out a sharp bark, startling everyone in the room. His eyes locked on the vet, ears pinned back, as though he already knew what the man had found. The vet exhaled slowly. "There's something irregular here. I need to run a test." The family's worry deepened. They had thought the crying was just from loneliness. But as the kitten mewed again, Max pulled her back into his embrace, refusing to let go. He wasn't just protecting her, he was begging them to understand. The room was silent as the vet carried the kitten gently to the exam table. Max whined, pacing anxiously, his nails clicking against the floor. The nurse tried to calm him, but his eyes never left the kitten, watchful, protective, desperate. Minutes felt like hours as the vet listened carefully with his stethoscope, his face growing more serious with every passing second. Finally, he pulled off his gloves and looked at the family, his voice heavy with concern. "She has a congenital heart defect," he explained softly. "It's why she cries so much. Every breath is harder for her than it should be. Without treatment, she wouldn't have survived much longer." The family gasped, stunned into silence. But Max seemed to already know. The shepherd pushed forward, resting his head beside the kitten on the table, eyes filled with sorrow yet determination. The vet blinked rapidly, his voice breaking. This dog didn't just comfort her. He kept her alive long enough for us to find out. For a moment, no one spoke. The vet's words hung in the air, heavy and heartbreaking. The family stared at the tiny kitten, her fragile chest rising and falling with labored breaths. And then their eyes shifted to Max, the loyal shepherd who had known the truth all along. The dog whimpered softly, nudging the kitten closer, as if to say, "She's still here. Don't give up on her." His devotion pierced the silence in a way words never could. The vet removed his glasses, wiping his eyes with the back of his hand. "In all my years," he murmured, voice trembling, "I've never seen anything like this." He wasn't just protecting her, he was fighting for her. Tears glistened in the mother's eyes. The children hugged Max tightly, their sobs mixing with his gentle whines. It was more than instinct. It was love, fierce and unrelenting. The vet wasted no time. A treatment plan was set in motion, delicate but urgent. The kitten would need medication, careful monitoring, and constant warmth to ease the strain on her fragile heart. The family nodded through tears, ready to do whatever it took. But one thing was certain, Max would never leave her side, at home. The shepherd became her shadow. He lay curled around her tiny body at night, his steady heartbeat lulling her to sleep. When she took her medicine, he nudged her gently, as though encouraging her to be strong. If she whimpered in discomfort, Max was there instantly, pressing his nose against her fur until she calmed. Day by day, her cries softened. Her breathing grew steadier. The once fragile kitten began to open her eyes wider, batting at Max's tail playfully. The family watched in awe as her strength slowly returned. Through it all, Max remained her guardian, never once wavering. His love had given her the chance to live, and now, recovery was finally within reach. Weeks later, the clinic visit became a memory, and the once crying kitten now darted happily across the living room floor. She pounced clumsily on toys, her tiny paws quick and playful. But no matter how far she wandered, she always circled back to Max. The shepherd watched her every move, his tail wagging proudly, his eyes filled with quiet joy. The vet visited once more, smiling through misty eyes. "She's a miracle," he said. But truthfully, the miracle began with him. He nodded toward Max. The family understood. This wasn't just about survival. It was about a bond that proved love could heal in ways medicine never could. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes they have fur, paws, and hearts bigger than we'll ever understand.